We're back to the Neil Haley Show, and a couple people I ended up interviewing the last 2 years for this event, and it's so great. And it's funny, now I find out that Dr. Terry follows me on Clubhouse. Go figure. And he never messaged me, never DM'd me on Instagram. So he has to learn that's the strategy. You got to DM on Instagram. You got to put the direct message on. I still haven't answered my ones from Clubhouse. Instagram's so much easier. I don't like the DM feature on Clubhouse, but I have Dr. Terry and Christine Wager. Guys, thanks for coming on, and I appreciate it for coming on the show.
Well, thanks for having us. We really appreciate being here. We love you. I follow you pretty much every platform you're on. So love your show.
So, but you never see, this is going to be tip number one for people listening. He tells me this. He was on my show a year ago. You guys were on my show a year ago, but Dr. Terry's never reached out to me with a DM. I did DM you. I DM'd you okay.
I was Clubhouse, and evidently it didn't work as well as it should.
No, that's Instagram. We check our mail. So Clubhouse doing that hurt things, because I have over flooded. I'll be going back to check that DM very soon. So let's go to talk about you guys, and congratulations. You told me the growth of your company since a year ago. And I'm going to first say congratulations. I love hearing. And you are business consultants. You help businesses that are $1 million or more, and you're teaching them to grow their business. And how did you guys get together in this way? It's kind of even a review from last year that you created this business. Tell us.
Well, really, I was in my own consulting firm after I walked away from mental health psychology. I had some background in organizational psych, and so I just moved that way because I liked the business people that I was working with, getting rid of stress and trying to figure out. They came in for stress, and I found myself talking more about business strategy with them. So I just moved that way while Christine was actually working at Starbucks. And so as Christine was working at Starbucks and I was moving into consulting world, she was talking about not liking how Starbucks was running. And I said, come work with me. And so she did.
I think, and it's in building a team that you find the growth. And so I was building teams with Starbucks. I mean, you talk about growth over 30 years. Yeah, I was there for 18 years while they were growing. Now it's 50. But that's really what it's about. It's complementing for growth. And that's what we help businesses do as they're growing.
And see, I love seeing how you guys work as a couple and working together. That's the big thing. There was a topic earlier today on the show that talked about successful entrepreneurs need to have that support. They have to have that support feature for success, or they won't, or that significant other won't work out, because an entrepreneur is a totally different animal than anything else. Because I said, you'll get the phone calls at 10 o'clock at night. You'll have the late night meetings, and you'll have the days where you're starting work at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's just part of that entrepreneur's lifestyle. But when you're helping people, Dr. Terry, manage that business and grow that business, what tips would you give businesses right now to grow? Especially, again, we're in this kind of back.
You know, it's funny because when we go into a business, a lot of time there's not a clear communication of what everybody's thinking. And so one person's saying one thing, another person's saying another, and there's not that clarity. And so the first thing is really get clear and think about making sure that everybody has the same vision and everybody is on board with what direction they're going. Because when one department is doing one thing and another department is doing another, you create silos instead of actually working together.
That's so true. And it's kind of like you're looking at specifically how everything's run, right? Christine, especially you working with Starbucks world, you learned that an organization successful has the employees around them, but also the management around them for success, right? And growth.
Yeah, 100%. It's about the leadership and the leadership coming together and inspiring the team. If there isn't that inspiration, that transfer of inspiration, then it just kind of, people show up. It becomes very hourly rather than having the vision and the impact that they can have for the people on their team, as well as the customers on the other side of the counter. It's really the full picture where the growth is, and having the vision, the go-to, that North Star. It's amazing how when it's missing, that it causes the drama and the people stepping away and not enrolling in the movement forward. And that's the secret of growth, is having the clarity, or at least that's what we found. And every time we walk clients through, there's like this aha moment.
Yes.
And then we step away and they're like, well, if you were to look at your vision, does it come back to that? And they're like, oh, shucks, you guys got me again.
Exactly. And so, Dr. Terry, when you look at this process of having Christine and looking at businesses and growth, you've grown as you talked about, but I think they've needed you more and more thanks to the Great Reset. And so many people are becoming entrepreneurs and don't want to work for other people now. So keeping those employees happy and making sure that they're productive and the mentality and the culture is happening is only opportunity for growth. So it's really that administration, it's the structure of the organization, not just the bottom line of the owner or management, right?
Yeah, Neil, that's totally true. One of the things that Patrick Lencioni talks about is when there's anonymity and basically not knowing your people and not really connecting with your people, it breeds indifference. And so one of the major things is really getting to know your people and getting to understand your people and giving them some kind of relevance to why they're doing what they're doing. Because if they're just sitting there pushing a button, or they're just sitting there doing something over and over, but they don't have any reason why, then they stop doing it. And that's what the vision's all about. That's what the mission's all about. And that's what enrolling people moving forward's all about.
So Christine, when you talk about the vision, I just keep bringing it up. I don't remember if you told me that last time, Christine, that you were a Starbucks. You look at an organization that has a brand, has the culture, people that work at Starbucks are happy to be there. The way the system, the order of how from ordering the coffee to having orders to moving the system through has really not gotten hurt even with COVID. What is that magic elixir that then why hire you guys because of that expertise to make sure that that culture can come to their business?
Yeah, the culture is, you've nailed it. It's about the culture and the collaborative effort and the innovation. Like, I think that was one of the things at Starbucks, they call them partners. They're not employees, they're not team members, they are partners. Howard Schultz had the vision of the partners, the heart of it, of inspiring. And who inspires best? It's the partners that are in front of the customers and hearing, oh, well, why don't you do mobile order? You know, a lot of that came from the customers and then people listening on the chain. So it's putting the systems in place that people can share what is going on with them, having roundtables in their leadership, having, the customer voice piece, managers working on the floor, not just behind the counter, regular visits from the DM. It's they're living in the moment, living, how can we make this an even greater experience for the team, for the customers, as well as the bottom line, so we can grow and bring more people in and expand the brand.
That's fantastic. And Dr. Terry, what would be the last tip for a business right now, especially earning $1 million more to build that culture? What would you say?
I think the right action. And when you get organized, like Christine was talking about, and you hear all of this feedback, take action on it. Do something different than what you've been doing before. Because so many times we work with businesses and they're like, well, we're just doing this. And then they want to do more of it instead of step back and take different action.
Very interesting. Best place we can find info on you guys. Where can we go?
Yeah, generatorcc.com is our website.
Awesome. And we can definitely check you. We could check out Dr. Terry on Clubhouse, because I never knew he did DM me, so I'm gonna have to go back and answer that DM. But go figure what's going to be the next greatest thing in a year, right? If Clubhouse was the great thing before we started in October last year, I wish we would have known about it in November. I'd be sitting here maybe even in a bigger position than I am even more now, because we would have been the first to the table in the party in November. We don't know what the next big social media platform is. I wish I knew it now.
When we find it, we'll DM you.
Oh, you'll DM me. Yeah, I mean, I'll make sure I answer that. So I appreciate you guys stopping by, and we'll be in touch, okay?
All right. Thank you very much.
We'll
see you, Neil.
See ya. You're listening and watching The Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.